everyone, I am back with part 2 of my top 3 products in every beauty category. In case you missed part 1, I will have that linked down in the description box. In part 1, I cover my top 3 foundations, concealers, powders, both loose and pressed, my favorite contour products, highlighters, and in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the remaining categories, my favorite eyeliners, eyeshadow palettes, blushes, lipsticks, lip liners. Everything that I did not cover in part 1 will be covered today in part 2. About halfway through part 1, I decided to start ranking the products 1, 2, and 3. And I asked for some feedback on how I should do part 2, if I should do anything differently. And it was about a 50-50 split between people that said they liked when I ranked them 3, 2, and 1, and others who said it was fine if I just name the products. And my apologies to those who voted for the ranking. I am just going to tell you the 3 products because it was difficult enough to narrow down my top 3, and to have to rank them, that is just, it's beyond my capability, unfortunately, especially when it comes to blush, lipstick, lip liner. It's virtually impossible. So I think I'm going to start with brows. I am one of those people that is constantly trying new brow products. I have very blonde, sparse brows. I did have them microbladed about 4 or 5 years ago, and I deeply regretted that decision. And I know the next question is going to be, why? Why did you regret it? Well, in a nutshell, I just don't think the person who did my microblading, she did not do a very good job. It was very painful for me. It also left me with a greenish sort of discoloration towards the front of my brow. The hair follicles towards the front of my brows are actually dead. I do not have any brow growth towards the front, so I have to mimic the look of hairs towards the front. And the fluffy brow trend has been really, really difficult for me. I really like the look, but it's really difficult when you have sparse, fine, barely existent brows. But one product out of the dozens and dozens that I've tried really does give me as close to a fluffy brow look as I'm going to get. And that is this Ulta brow tint. I use the shade Blonde. There is also a taupe that I did try as well, but it's a little bit dark for me. This really, really fluffs up my brows more so than any other brow fluffing or fiber product has, from the drugstore all the way up to high end. I have brow fluffing products from Dior to Huda Beauty. You name the brand, it's likely I've tried their brow product. I am just crazy about this. So what I do with this is I run it through my brows, and then once it's sort of dried a little bit, I go in with the next product, which is the NYX Lift and Snatch. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen in Blonde. And I create those hairs that I don't have. I fake having hairs. So this builds up my brows and gives them the appearance of more volume and density. And then this is what I use to create those hair-like strokes to mimic the look of having natural hair there. And this is a little time consuming, I'm not gonna lie, but I will take the time to do this when I have a night out or when I'm filming. I love this duo. But product number 3 is one that I use when I'm in a hurry because it's just quick and effective. It lasts all day. It's waterproof. I can go work out with my brows on. I can go swimming and have my brows stay on. This is the Benefit Pomade Brow Pomade. I use shade number 3. This is a fantastic brow pomade for all of the reasons I just stated. It's quick, the color is good for my blonde hair, and it stays on. Benefit overall just makes some really great brow products. If I were doing a top 5 or a top 10 brow product list, I would definitely have the Precisely My Brow on that list, as well as the 24-Hour Brow Setter. All right, next up, I'm going to do eyeshadow. One of my all-time favorite eyeshadow palettes that really should be in this video has unfortunately been discontinued, and I have no idea why. It is the BH Cosmetics Love in London. It is so good. All of the BH Cosmetics travel palettes are incredible in my opinion. I love all of the ones that I have. And if I were doing a top 5 video, I would definitely have included a BH Cosmetics travel palette. But I tried to be brutally honest with myself when doing these videos and just grab the 3 that I have found myself reaching for the most over the last 3 to 4 weeks. And if you are familiar with me and my videos and my tutorials and when I talk about favorite products, I am constantly mentioning how much I dislike large eyeshadow palettes and love small eyeshadow palettes. So these are my top 3. And as you can see, they are all very similar in size. Beginning with the Master Mattes palette by Makeup by Mario. When I first did a review of this palette, I am 99% certain that I talked about how kind of boring it is. It's just many, many shades of brown. I've personally always liked that this palette had a light shade for under the brow and then a black to do liner or really dark smoky looks. I'm one of those people that really likes to have those 2 shades specifically in a palette because they're just so versatile and I use them for almost every look I do. But I just wasn't so sure about why we needed so many browns. Now, Mario is obviously a makeup artist, so he was most likely using his mindset coming from a makeup artist thinking, well, browns, a variety of browns is perfect for a palette because you are going to encounter, as a makeup artist, so many different skin tones and different shades of brown look better on different shades of skin. So if you are a makeup artist, this was definitely something that you needed for your kit or you need for your kit. But as an individual, I just wasn't sure if people really needed this palette. But in the year or so that I've had it, has it been longer than a year? Maybe 2 years? I purchased mine when it first launched, and I always reach for this palette when I am traveling. It is the first thing that goes into my travel makeup bag. I feel like this is I want to say a comfort palette, but that sort of doesn't really make sense. Yeah, comfort is definitely not the right word. But it gives me a sense of security because it is a no-fail palette. And that also sounds a little strange, a sense of security with an eyeshadow palette. I love to do my makeup. And when I'm out of town, it usually means that I'm going to some sort of event or I'm on vacation and I'm going to a nice dinner with my husband. And I really look forward to doing my makeup. And having this palette just makes me feel like, okay, whatever look I am going to do, this is going to get me almost there. I could just use this palette and then add a shimmer from another palette if I was so inclined. Or I could just do an all matte look. I don't have to worry about trying to find my black eyeliner if I've misplaced it. This is just a no-fail eyeshadow palette. My other 2 favorites are the Anastasia Beverly Hills Mini Soft Glam and also the baby one from Lawless. Now you might be thinking, Risa, those are awfully similar. Yes, they are. But I love these 2 and I chose these 2 mostly for their shimmer shades. This shimmer right here in this Baby Lawless palette is one of the most beautiful shimmer shades I have ever used. The formula of these eyeshadows is fantastic. They're very buttery, they're very blendable. I love the mauve purpley color story. I love using the shade right here in my tear ducts. It gives a real brightening effect. And of course the size is perfect. I just love a mini palette. And the Soft Glam, the Mini Soft Glam gives you, I think, the best shades from the bigger Soft Glam palette, which is one of my all-time favorites. I've raved about it many, many times in videos over the years. Once again, much like in the Mario palette, you've got that matte ivory or matte cream shade, a matte black, some beautiful shimmers, some great transition shades. This is another no-fail, no-brainer palette. So those are my top 3 eyeshadow palettes, and now I want to move on to my top 3 eyeliners. More often than not, I will use an eyeshadow for my eyeliner, at least on my lower lash lines. For my upper lash lines, I will also often use a shadow, but I also often use a liquid eyeliner. But as I've gotten older and my eyes have gotten more hooded, doing a winged liner has become a lot more challenging. Although I do have several videos on my channel where I demonstrate how I like to do my winged eyeliner on my hooded, aging, downturned eyes, and I can actually link those for you down in the description box. I have a lot of liquid eyeliners that I like, but I would say the one I always go back to is this one from Physicians Formula. It's their Eye Booster Liquid Eyeliner. It's just really easy to get. You can find it at any drugstore, CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target. I really like the applicator on this. I find it extremely easy to use. It's beginner friendly. It doesn't skip. It just glides on. It's a true black, which is what I like. So if you are in the market for a good liquid eyeliner and you don't want to spend $18, $20 on one or more, then I would recommend this one from Physicians Formula. It is my current #1 liquid eyeliner. I do still like some of the others that I've talked about recently. Don't get me wrong. The Standout liquid eyeliners, the one from One Size, Mario. I also still really like the one from Pat McGrath. If I were going to do a top 5 liquid eyeliners, those would all be on the list. But I do have 2 eye pencils I wanted to mention. First up is the Urban Decay 24/7 eyeliner in Demolition. This is a beautiful brown. It's a brown with a little bit of a plummy or purpley tone to it. It's very, very faint. I think most people looking at this eye pencil would say, Risa, where are you seeing this purple? I don't know. I see a little bit of a plummy, purpley undertone to this, especially in comparison to my other favorite, which is from Christian Dior. This is the waterproof eye pencil in Intense Brown. As you can see, the Intense Brown is definitely more, well, intense. It's darker. And the Demolition is lighter. It's a little bit softer. Today I've used Demolition. I reach for this one when I want a softer eyeliner look. I very, very rarely use black eye pencil. The only time I use a black eye pencil, honestly, is when I tightline my upper lash lines and my lower rims. But really, any black eye pencil works for that. I know some of you might be thinking, well, Risa, which ones actually last in the waterline? None of them. Honestly, none of them last that well. Some people might say that there are gel eyeliners out there that are long wearing, but I have very sensitive eyes. And unfortunately, any pencil that is a gel eye pencil really irritates my eyes. My eyes just become very heavy and uncomfortable. The Marc Jacobs gel eyeliners, there's one from Milani that a lot of people swear by. They say that it stays on the waterline very well, but I can't use them. So unfortunately, when I tightline, I just reach for any black eye pencil I have laying around. Most of the time, it's just the chunky L'Oreal Voluminous pencil, because I find that thinner pencils have a tendency, well, I have a tendency to poke myself in the eye with smaller pencils. I really like that L'Oreal one. So I'll list that down in the description box as well. Now, I hope I didn't just confuse people by saying that I never use black eyeliner. I never use black eyeliner pencil other than in the upper and lower water lines. Obviously, I use black liquid liners, but I also use brown sometimes. Anyway, I'm going on way too long about eyeliners. These 3 are my current favorites. All right, finally, in the eye category, we have mascaras. I am not all that picky when it comes to mascara, simply because I am someone that uses false lashes almost on the daily. If not full strips, I will at least use corner lashes. I just cut a full strip lash in half and use the inner corner on the outer portion of my eyes. Today I have full strips on, but if you watch my tutorials, you know that I 99.8% of the time will add corner lashes or some individuals. I've tried lash growth serums. I'm just far too inconsistent with their use, so I never get to see results. And it's just easy for me to apply falsies. So that is the reason why I'm not too picky when it comes to mascaras. But I still would prefer to use a mascara that gave me at least some decent looking lashes. And if I really don't want to put on falsies, like say I'm just going to the grocery store, running errands. I still want my lashes to look their best, especially since I have very light eyelashes and they're very sparse. I feel like wearing mascara makes me look a lot more awake. So instead of talking about these all individually, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that they're all quite similar. They all give me length and volume. They don't flake or smudge on me. They don't pull out the curl. And I've got a drugstore favorite, a mid-range favorite, and a luxury favorite. My drugstore favorite is currently the Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume. My mid-range favorite is this one from Wander Beauty. It is the Mile High Club Mascara. And then for luxury mascara, if you want to splurge on a really good mascara, I love the Giorgio Armani Eyes to Kill. Back in part 1, I did cover my top 3 contour products, but I did not cover my top 3 bronzers. I did say I was going to do that in this video. So my top 3 bronzers are the Revolution Mega Bronzer in 01 Cool. My next favorite is this one from Milani. It is the Silky Matte Bronzer in Sun Tan. I have been using and raving about this one for at least a year, if not longer. These are both perfect for my skin tone. They don't make my face look dirty. They're matte, so they give me a very natural looking light tan. And my third favorite is from the brand Ilia. I've been using this for quite a while as well. It is the Novelty Bronzing Powder in Nightlight. This one is a little bit more golden than the other two. Ooh, I should have cleaned off the mirror first. This bronzer gets a lot of use. If I'm not reaching for one of these two, I'm reaching for this one. Moving on to blush. This category and lips were the absolute toughest to select my favorites. These are the two categories that I was shuffling different products in and out of my top 3. So for blush, I am starting with the blush I have on right now. It's one that I have found myself reaching for more and more lately. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Bloom. I love a bright blush. Boy, does this one deliver. You can also use a light hand with this blush and just get a very sheer flush of color. But I have a tendency to go a little, what is the saying, ham on my blush, and I just kind of keep applying it. It is a highlighting blush, so it does have a little bit of a sheen to it. I do have highlighter on top of it. But if you're looking for just a subtle glow with a punch of color, then look no further than this Mini Bloom blush. It is so good. I'm also really falling head over heels with these Rare Beauty liquid blushes. I think they're called Pinch blushes. This is the shade Happy, and it makes me happy because it is that perfect baby pink cheek, and it is so pigmented. You just need to use the tiniest amount, because if you don't, you could possibly go full on clown cheeks, which we don't want. Well, maybe some people do. I personally always hope for a happy medium between a punchy blush and a over-the-top clown blush. But as I always say, to each their own. If you like the way something looks, then by all means, carry on. This shade Happy is one of 3 Rare Beauty liquid blushes that I own, and this is the one that I reach for the most. If I want to do a baby pink cheek, this is what I reach for. And then lastly, in the blush category, I had to go with a blush from Milani. This is actually the Powder Blush Trio in Golden Hour Glow. This is the Cheek Kiss formula. This also contains a beautiful baby pink blush, but what I like to do with this palette is sweep my brush into all 3 colors and apply it to this entire area right here, and it gives me that windswept, just in from the cold flush. It's like a little bit of a sunburnt look. It's the kind of look that you want when you go on vacation and you get just a little bit sun-kissed. So now it's time to talk lips, starting with lipsticks. These are my current top 3 go-to lipsticks. First up, we have Charlotte Tilbury's Runway Royalty. Unfortunately, this beautiful shade is exclusive to the Charlotte Tilbury website. This is a beautiful pinky nude, and it is in the Kissing formula, which is a cream lipstick formula. It's not a matte. Then my next favorite is from Patrick Ta. This is Oh She's Single. This is similar to Runway Royalty, but it does have a little bit more brown and a little bit more peach to it. I love the shade because it is a very classic nude that doesn't wash me out. But sometimes I do want to wear a lighter nude, and this new one from Makeup by Mario called Sierra is perfect. It is a light peachy, pinky nude. It is my favorite of all of the Mario lipsticks. I've purchased, I think, 3 of them, and this is the one I reach for the most. It is a soft, comfortable matte formula. It's not one of those mattes that just feels awful as you try to apply it to your lips, and especially on someone with more mature lips. If you feel like mattes have a tendency to settle into lines, I don't think you're gonna have that problem with this formula. Now, this color might wash out some skin tones, so you may have to pair it with a liner, or you may have to wear this on top of a darker color. But if you have a similar skin tone to mine and you are looking for a fantastic light nude, look no further than this one. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I am almost done. I just have lip glosses and lip liners to show you. Choosing the lip liners was actually kind of easy, especially in comparison to choosing the glosses and the lipsticks and the blushes, because I reach for these lip liners all the time. I talk about them all the time in my videos. Number 1 is NYX's Natural. You really can't go wrong with this. It pairs with so many different lipsticks. I can use it with all of the lipsticks I showed here. And NYX lip pencils in general are just so good, and there really isn't a shade that they don't have. And depending on where you purchase it, you can get a NYX lip liner for anywhere from $3 to, I think the most is $6. Next up is MAC's Stripdown. I've been using this for years and years. It is a little bit more of a true nude. Natural, the one I just showed, has a little bit more pink to it. If you're looking for something a little bit more brown, you can't go wrong with Stripdown. And then lastly, the Pat McGrath Perma-gel lip liner in Contour. This is the creamiest lip liner of the 3, and it has a little bit more of a mauve undertone to it. I would say the NYX Natural has more pink, the Stripdown has more brown, and Contour has more mauve. It's cooler toned. So if you own all 3 of these lip liners, you've got your bases covered. In reality, I do not need another lip pencil. I have no idea why I own 50 more, 60 more maybe, but let's be real, to a makeup junkie, they're all slightly different and all very necessary. But we know that they're not. You really don't need that many lip liners. Just these 3 will do. All right, I'm closing out this video with my current top 3 lip glosses. Beginning with the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy, I would say that I reach for this gloss more than any other in my vast gloss collection. It's a beautiful color. It works on its own or over a lip liner or over a lipstick. It's extremely shiny. It smells good. It takes me back to my childhood, those 80s lip smacker lip glosses. And I know there is a 99% chance that if you are a lip gloss lover, you have this in your collection. Up next is what a lot of people were calling a dupe for the Fenty glosses when they first came out. This is the Maybelline Lifter Lip Gloss. My current favorite shade is Opal. It's actually the one I have on, and it is so glossy, very similar to the Fenty. And I just love this shade Opal because it doesn't change the color of the lipstick underneath it too much. Sometimes with these lighter glosses, you apply them over a lipstick and then suddenly they're too light. The lip color becomes too light and almost washes you out. Anyway, this is fantastic. And then finally, my third current lip gloss favorite is new to me. This is from the brand K.I.S.S.I.N.G. This is the Wet Lip Oil, and I just took a picture and tried to zoom in because I don't have my glasses. And I think this says the shade is Unhooked. Lip oils have become increasingly popular in the last couple of years. So many people now are looking for makeup products that also have skincare benefits, and lip oils definitely do. They really hydrate the lips. This particular one contains hyaluronic acid, which attracts water and locks in hydration. Actually, the Lifter Gloss has hyaluronic acid in it as well. And then the K.I.S.S.I.N.G has peptides to visibly plump the lips and evening primrose oil that protects. It's free of sulfates and parabens. This product is also vegan, cruelty-free, and gluten-free. This is another product that I want you to add if you're a gloss person. I want you to add this to your Sephora holiday bonus event cart because you need one. All right, that concludes part 2 of my top 3 products in every makeup category. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. In case you missed part 1, as I mentioned earlier, it will be linked down below in the description box. And all of the products that I've spoken about here today will be listed there as well. If you are not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and join the Risa Does Makeup family. We would love to have you. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under the same username. It's all Risa Does Makeup. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.